Hello YouTube, my name is Shannon, and today I want to talk about public libraries, how much I love them, and show you some books that I picked up from my local library. So often on BookTube I see everyone buying their books and spending a lot of money, and it's awesome that we support authors and bookstores in that way, but we have an awesome resource of libraries, and I think it is something that we should utilize better, especially here on BookTube, to show people that you don't have to be able to buy every book you read to be able to be a booktuber or to be able to count as a reader. If you read, you are a reader. If you enjoy reading, you are a reader. It doesn't have to be something where you have to buy the books to become that. Honestly, the public library is one of my favorite places to visit and be in general, and I think it's just something that we should all use. And I love the library and I find it very helpful. So without further ado, I am going to show you all these books that I have recently picked up from the library and plan on reading soon. I do also want to clarify that my library specifically is a very efficient, awesome system, and I know that not all libraries are like that, but we have a county system, and so every library in the different cities in my county can transport books among the different branches. And that way, if you want a book that's not in your local library, you can put it on hold and it will come from one of the other libraries to your local library or wherever you decide to place the hold for, and then you can still get the book. So I also think that is very helpful and something that should be implemented wherever possible. The first book that I picked up from the library recently has been Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare, and I already read this and I loved it. It was fantastic. I'm actually going to the library today to return it, and it is the second book in the Infernal Devices trilogy, and it's part of the Shadowhunters Chronicles. So if you've read the Mortal Instruments like City of Bones, City of Glass, I skipped one. Anyway, if you've read those, this is a spin-off series kind of from that. It takes place in London in the 1800s, I'm pretty sure, and it is just fantastic. I really enjoyed this book and can't wait to continue all of these Shadowhunter Chronicles over the summer. Next, I picked up Geekerella by Ashley Poston, and I actually just started reading this book, and it is so cute and fun. I am so excited to just finish it today, and it is so cute, this cover, by the way. I'm super excited about it. And that's the other thing about libraries. They can get new releases fairly quickly, because this came out earlier this year and they already have it in. The main character is a huge fangirl of Starfield, which is like basically Star Trek, but it's just in the novel it's called Starfield, and she is obsessed with the show. And then I think she ends up meeting the main actor in the show somehow, and I'm just super excited to see how this story unfolds. And also, can we just talk about how the title is literally hollow? Yes. Next I have Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth, who is the author of the Divergent series. I have yet to read this, and I really need to. It's a sci-fi novel, which is my favorite genre at the moment. It kind of shifts. I love contemporary sci-fi and fantasy the most, but I love sci-fi and I'm excited to delve into this. I've heard there are some problematic things about it, but I want to read it for myself and establish my own opinions about it. However, I loved Divergent and I'm excited to read more from this author, and my library got this in January as soon as it came out, and I think that's just amazing, and that's why I support my library, because they are so helpful. And even if your library doesn't do that, you can find so many good books at your library, and just try it out. This book is about two different people from like different realms or something. I haven't really read much of the synopsis because I try to go into books like not knowing too much about them so that I can enjoy the world building, but it sounds really interesting and I am excited to delve into it. Next, I have Beast by Bree Spangler, and this actually includes some transgender representation, which I am very excited to read about because I haven't read many novels that include that, or any. And I think it's really important to learn more about the struggles that certain people face in minorities that we might not think about if it doesn't apply to us. And it's important to broaden our perspectives by reading that. And I'm super excited to get a new perspective from this book. Here I have Lifeblood by Gina Showalter, and this is the sequel to First Life, and I recently read that and absolutely enjoyed it. It was so thrilling and gripping, and it's kind of a sci-fi dystopian type novel. It takes place in the future, and there are different realms, and you have to sign yourself to one of them for your second life. And it's just really fascinating. The world is entrancing. It's so beautiful and whimsical and unlike any other world that I've read about before. And I'm just super excited to see where the story goes, because the second half of the first book was so much better than the first half, so I'm hoping that the second and third books are even better. Next, I have The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli, and oh my goodness, I recently read Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, which is another book by this author, and I read it in 3 hours in one night, in one sitting, and absolutely just loved it to death. And so when I heard about this book, I was like, I need it. And then when I found out that it had come to my library, I drove there and was like, I need this book, and I grabbed it and was so happy. So I'm super excited about this book, and I cannot wait to read it. This book follows Molly, who is terrified of unrequited love and does not want to be put in that situation. So she doesn't put herself out there because she's so afraid that she will get hurt or that she will not have that love reciprocated. And her older sister has a girlfriend who has this friend that Molly is interested in, but Molly also has a coworker that she may be interested in, and she is learning to maybe put herself out there and be a little less afraid of the consequences. And so this sounds like a beautiful coming-of-age story, and I'm sure that I will love it. I'm so excited. The last book that I have from my library is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. And I know what you're thinking. You haven't read this yet? Sadly, I have not, but I'm going to. I am going to read this book. I want to, and I've wanted to for so long. I just keep putting it off for some reason, even though I know I'm going to love this series just as much as everyone else does. But I am very excited to read it. So those are all the books that I have to show you today, and it just goes to show how helpful libraries can be and how much you can read without really having to buy every book that you read, and it saves you a lot of money, and I just find it very helpful. So if you have a public library, I highly encourage you to use that resource that you have. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun to talk about all these books and talk about my opinions about public libraries, and I thought it was something unusual and creative to do. So I hope that transferred well and that you enjoyed it. I will see you all next week with another new video. Bye! This is a test shot for this angle with the sun and everything. Shot number 2 so you can actually see my face? Question mark? I get to go read Geekerella for the rest of the day. Well, I mean, I'm gonna edit, but I also get to read Geekerella and I'm so excited.